Hello guys, I'm very privileged today to be with my sister, Dr. Edith. She's one who travels the world, lives in luxurious hotels, sipping fine lattes. But I've got a question for you today, Edith.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you feel when you travel around the world, doing business, making big moves, which is all great, and I admire you for that. But how do you feel leaving your kids behind? The reason I'm asking this question is I've gone on this trip with you. It's been amazing. We've closed a lot of good deals and I've learned a lot and I've really enjoyed the journey.
Turkey is beautiful, ain't it?
I know, it has been. It's quite nice. We're in Istanbul right now. But I've had a lot of mom guilt moments where I felt like, what are my kids doing right now? Blah, blah, blah. I know this is the right thing for them, but I still feel guilty. You've been doing this for years. And how do you feel? What can you say about that?
Well, I'm going to start off saying this, and you're going to hear it a lot from me. I mean, you have heard it a lot from me, but, your audience is going to hear this a lot from me. I am a very intentional person. So we talk about intentionality. Most of the time, people don't stop to be intentional about the things they do. So as a mom, at the time when I made the decision to go on this path of entrepreneurship, it was intentional. I understood that there are going to be moments of sacrifice. It wasn't the kind of decision where, I just found myself in. It was a lot of time, a lot of thought, a lot of weighing of options, and then choosing a path.
Right.
And I cannot say you would know everything at the time you make the choice. However, you made a choice.
Right.
And you know what comes with those choices.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for the part of mom guilt, of course I spent all my life being guilty here and there. But it's about how I manage the guilt.
Correct.
And how I transform that energy into fuel.
Good.
So there's one thing my son said to me, I think it's about 2 years ago. Of course, this is Eden. This is when he's 17 years old and just graduated from college. And I asked him the question like, Eden, now that you're grown and you're graduated, how do you feel about, everything entirely, especially the parts where you didn't have me?
Right.
Because a lot of those years, I had to be away at work. And he says to me, Mom, I never felt like you left me for the money or for the success.
Wow.
I feel like you left me for me.
Wow, this is great coming from a teenager.
Yes. And this is to make it very clear that we spent a lot of times communicating about everything.
Wow.
So my kids were never left in the dark. Every moment of the way, I spoke to them. When I had my mom guilt moments where they get really bad, because those moments are, there's some that is just like a thought.
Right.
And the others where you're borderline depressed about not being there.
Right.
Those were the moments I talked to my kids. I let them know how I felt, how I'm feeling, how I missed them. And they became my number one cheerleaders.
Oh, wow.
Like my children know the journey.
Right.
And every win is celebrated like our win.
Right.
So I'm going to just say this to moms out there. Like, the first thing is, like I said, intentionality. Be intentional about what you want to do.
Right.
Don't try and error. Okay? Because once you do that, you confuse your kids.
Right.
If they know you as an entrepreneur, they should know you as that.
Right. Okay.
And that's being intentional and understanding that you're making choices and you're going to make sacrifices. That's number one. So you're grounded in what it is that you chose to do. Number two, communicate.
Right.
Kids are not too young to know what's going on. Tell them.
Right.
I started communicating really deep things with my kids. My son was 11 and my daughter
I was going
was
to
7.
ask what age? 11 and 7.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm talking about deep level communication where I'm talking to another adult.
Right.
On that level.
Right.
Yes.
7 years old.
7.
Do you feel like she understood everything?
There are many things she did not understand
Right.
initially. Her brother, however, did. Small, he's quite advanced. They're both, special in their own way. But my son, for the most part, understood most of what I said.
Right.
My daughter didn't, but she caught up.
Right.
Because I believe some of the things she didn't quite get, my son found a way to communicate those things to her when I wasn't around.
Right, and perhaps over time as well.
Yes.
And maturity and things.
Yes. There are layers to this, a lot of deeper things. My daughter used to have nightmares. And, on another video, another time when you have the chance, we can talk about exactly what the night, and they were recurrent. And it had to do with me disappearing.
Oh, right.
So that's how she processed her own emotions. And it's crazy because I know about these nightmares because I talked to her.
Right.
Every time she had one,
Right.
we talked about it. We'd help her understand
Mm-hmm.
what was going on subconsciously and why she felt that way and all of that. So
Right.
in a nutshell, just talk to your children.
Right.
You know, communicate with them. Tell
Right.
them what's going on. Especially when you are feeling bad. Talk to them about it.
So what you're saying is, as a mom, you can have it all. You can have your kids and you can still pursue your career. You can still do the things you desire to do with your life, and they shouldn't stop you, if I can put it that way. I don't want to put it strong way.
That's an even deeper conversation because
Okay.
when you align with purpose, everything falls in place.
Right.
So I always say it, I have it all. I do. And
Right.
I'm not apologetic. I'm not, there's no guilt there. I have it all. I have my children, I have their father, I have, the financial freedom.
Right.
And I'm doing what I love to do.
Right.
And I'm empowering and impacting people and living a life that has meaning.
Yeah. One of the reasons I asked you this question this morning, I know we're rushing to go to a meeting, it's because of the relationship you have with your daughter. She's turning 16.
Yes.
And it's an extraordinary relationship. You guys are like, she tells you everything.
Everything.
And teenagers are not that open.
Right.
Teenagers, they go through a phase where they're difficult with their parents.
Yes.
But I've never seen that with you and your kids.
Yes.
So I felt like you must be doing something right.
Right.
Hence, I guess we're going to go into deeper conversations.
Well, thank you
but
so much. Thank you for saying that. And it goes back to what I said, conversations. My children have learned to talk to me. So you don't want to create that relationship when they now become a teenager and you want to give them that sex talk.
Right.
That's not the time you do it. You do it before they even dream of becoming teenagers.
Oh my God, you're spilling a lot of juice right now. Okay.
Right.
Sorry. Can you just, if you're gonna give 3 things, can you just give us 3 things you wish you knew before you started off on this journey that you now know? Things that you could have done differently.
My mom journey or my entrepreneurship journey?
Your mom journey.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, everything faith, fun, and learning over here.
Well, honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. I had the kids really young. I'm 21 when I had my son, and my daughter, I believe, was 24, and I was really young. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't literally know that it means these people are going to be stuck to you for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? And when they're younger, you're there, you're over them, you're protecting, you're doing all of that. You're providing, you're feeding, you're doing all of that. And then they graduate into the adolescence where they're borderline independent. But still depending on you.
Yeah.
It changes, but you have to be there.
Right.
And then they become teenagers, and then they become young adults, and you're just there, but in different capacities.
Right.
So
of
you
course.
don't realize that you just stepped into a full-blown assignment for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wearing different hats that you don't even know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
So if I 3 things. One, maybe I will wait.
A little while you have kids, a little when you're a little older.
Yes, I would maybe have them because it's almost like they popped off of me. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I had to struggle to kind of,
Okay.
so I think
that's
that
a good perspective.
the advice that a lot of relationship counselors who talk about you and your partner, coming together to decide on these things and making decisions, even the family planning ideas and all of that. I think they're crucial.
Right. Okay.
So you're not, something didn't just spring off on you. I think I did a fantastic job, by the way.
I think you really did.
Who didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
because I look at you and your kids and I admire the relationship because
Right.
you're 40 now.
Yeah.
And you've got
my son
20
is
and
20
and your daughter's
is
16.
20,
So
yes.
it feels like,
Yeah. So they're my friends. They're my siblings. We learn together. I'm going to put it that way. So I would say I would have waited. Of course, not to say that, people who didn't wait are not doing a good job or whatever.
But that's
I'm just saying
that's a choice that you could have made. Yeah.
I would have, at least had the chance to not, be caught off guard with kids for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one. The second one, I would say, I think I started getting my kids involved in my work a little late.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And what age is a little late?
My daughter, she started doing promotional videos for me at 14.
You could have started earlier.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And my son, I mean, he's very techie and hands-on and loves business. And he got in, at 17, right around the same time. But I wasn't very intentional about, opening up the business aspect. I mean, we talk in general, but
like getting them deep involved.
Yes, I should have gotten them involved from the time they're 10, give them real tasks and pay them for the job.
Oh, wow.
Things like that. Because, if I'm building all of this and it's going to be theirs.
Right.
Imagine
they have to know how to manage it.
It's birthed from me.
Right.
So I'm the author of it. I don't want to hand it over to someone when they are grown and have all the layers to them.
Right.
So the foundational layer, could have been this. And not to say that, I'm putting them in a box where they can't choose what they want to do.
I was going to ask that. However, like if they choose not to.
That's fine. However, it's kind of like you could choose to be an attorney, but you really love and care for sick people.
Right.
So it's kind of like the foundation carrying it. They don't necessarily have to do the job. They don't even have to be skincare professionals or chemical or researchers or any of that. But if they love it enough and they know it enough, they're gonna know how to manage it.
Right, of course,
because
it's
legacy.
It's a legacy.
So that's the other thing.
Okay.
And last but not least, I will do a lot of travel with the kids. I didn't do a lot of travel with them because I always felt like I wanted stability for them.
Okay.
And we had a scenario where I kept them 2 years and their father kept them 2 years and we went back and forth. But it got to a place where they needed to be in one stable environment. So we chose, for them to be around family more. And during the holidays, I felt like they wanted to do activities with people they went to school with in their communities. I didn't want to pull them out of that.
Right.
But I think that if I were to go back in time,
perhaps travel and homeschool.
I'll do at least 2 trips a year because I want them to be just as exposed. I mean, I've been to all the continents.
Yeah.
And my children have only been to 2.
Okay, yeah.
So it's kind of like I would like for them. I would have
a bit more exposure,
and expose them some more, and just let them make up their minds to be citizens of the universe versus being stuck in one place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing these tips. I think I've learned a lot just listening to you talk.
It's a lot. I can't wait to do a video, teenagers, how you want to strangle them.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much, guys. And we're going to love you and leave you now. Bye.